This video is sponsored by Comtous. What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again, coming at you with another video for Skylanders Ring of Heroes. I want to extend my thanks once again to Comtous for sponsoring this video. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about what everyone wants to know when it comes to Hero Collector RPGs. How do you go about collecting these Skylanders, and which ones are going to be some of the ones you want to focus on when first getting started into the game? Now, let's get started out with a collection of them. There's a couple of different ways that you can go ahead and go about it. The first one of which everyone should know about if you watch the first video, it's going to be the quest line. So the quest line here, we got 4 different parts. You guys are going to start out with part 1, and in this one, as you can see right here, taking a look at the summary, we're going to be able to obtain some of the fragments, the soul stones that we need for our stealth elf, which is actually one of the first Skylanders that we actually start out in the game. In addition to that, there's going to be some summoning tickets, so we're going to be able to collect some soul stones for various Skylanders, and of course, depending on how many we have, if we have enough to summon them, we can go ahead and use those through our journey through the Skylands, okay? The second place that we can obtain these Skylanders is going to be the scenario rewards. Now, if we take a look at the Singing Forest, for example, we'll see that we have a couple of opportunities to get not only regular Skylanders, but also villains. So if you take a look on the top, stage 1 through stage 6, we can obtain possibly Tough Luck fragments as well as the villain Chompy. Now, Chompy is the villain that you first get started into the game. This one's going to provide a defense break, which is nice. So I definitely recommend just using that for the time being, as again, it's going to be your first villain to go ahead and incorporate on your team. Now, when it comes to the boss stages, as you can see, has a limit on the amount you can do. However, the value of clearing those boss stages is very important because you can obtain some fragments that are a little bit harder to collect. So, of course, even though we saw early on the quest line, the part 1 quest line, we can obtain some stealth elf fragments. This one here is something that will reset every daily, so we can basically obtain 2 fragments per clear with a total of 3 clears, so that's going to be 6 fragments here. So over time, we're going to be able to collect these fragments so that we can not only summon our Skylanders, but also power them up, evolve, awaken them, so on and so forth. Now, if you take a look at the bottom, you will see some additional rewards we can obtain if we get 3 stars on every single stage here. So once we hit a certain amount, we'll be able to collect every single one. And if you look at the middle one right up here, we can get ourselves a couple of fragments for Hot Dog, which of course, again, is going to be one of our first support Skylanders in the game. So it's going to be extremely important not only to work through each specific item, but also get the 3-star clear in every single stage so you can obtain these rewards. We also have a normal ticket that we can obtain on this first stage as well. I actually have the normal ticket as well as the ultra premium ticket that we're going to be summoning at the end of this video here. So we're going to be able to see what kind of summons you can obtain through that. The next place we can obtain these soul stones is going to be the events page. Now, if you take a look right above the quest line, you click the notice button, you will see the event icon right over there on the right. Now, currently, I don't have any events going on, but they will be offering events throughout the time there. So definitely you want to make sure that you click on there every so often to check and see which type of events are going on, because depending on the rewards, you may be able to obtain some Skylanders, whether it's a couple of fragments or a full-blown Skylander outright. So definitely keep an eye out on that. Now, the next one is going to be the one that we're pretty excited about. I know I am. The Spring of Souls. This is where we're going to be going to do the summons that we can do. Now, whether it's a Wishstone summon, normal summons, or ultra premium summons, here we can just basically get our fragments so that we can get enough and get ourselves a new Skylander. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. I'm just going to show you real quick what it looks like. All right, the Wishstone summon. These are Wishstones we're going to be able to get pretty easy throughout the different types of daily quests and rewards and whatnot here. So you guys are going to have a lot of Wishstones to collect here. So as you can see, we're able to get ourselves a couple of pieces for Whamshell, which is one of my favorite Skylanders. I-5, which is actually a really good villain. This is something that I see a little bit in the arena. And then we have Ice Cream, which is honestly another villain that we can obtain, but I actually have not used him yet. So that being said, though, we do have enough to summon. So let's go ahead and summon him right now. We'll take a look here and see what we get. Ice Cream, wow. that's a pretty cool looking Skylander. So yeah, it looks like it is a dark element Skylander here. It is an expert, so that's going to be fun. We'll have to take a look at him down the road here. So now we do have some other summons that we got here. Like I said, we collected the events, or we collected the scenario rewards for the normal ticket, as well as the ultra premium ticket that you can obtain through the quest line. So if you guys check out the quest line, I think it's the last quest within part 1, you will be able to collect this ultra premium ticket. So let's do the first one here. Let's see what we get. Now, take a look. The pieces that we can obtain normal through legendary, and we can get at least 20 or more. So you will notice when you're doing your summons that sometimes you will get multiple fragments of different Skylanders, or sometimes you only get maybe 2 of them, but you'll be able to get a little bit more. In addition to that, we'll be able to collect some potions or whatnot, so that you can level up your Skylanders or villains a little bit more as well. So take note on that here. So funny enough, it looks like we got over 20 fragments here, but we actually got a little bit of a bonus on Chopper, which actually Chopper is going to be another Skylander that we're going to be talking about later down the road here. He's actually pretty good, so I'm pretty excited to get those additional fragments here. Now, next one up, we're going to do our Ultra Premium one here. So let's go ahead and do the summon. Let's see what we can obtain. Again, we can get the heroic or the legendary Skylander fragments here. So I'm pretty excited to see which ones we get. So it looks like we got Shadow Spitfire. Once again, we got the bonus lightning, being able to get ourselves 45 fragments. Now we actually have enough, I believe, to summon that Shadow Spitfire. So that's pretty exciting. Looks like we got a little bit there for Crusher. We got a Ruptor, which is actually a pretty good one here. Now, this is the icon for the legendary Skylander. So let's take a look to see what we get. We got Buckshot, and if I recall correctly, Buckshot is one of the better Skylanders in the game thus far. So Ninjini is also a good one to keep an eye out here. The next one that we got, Shadow Spire, which of course we got some fragments early on. And then another 4-star one, the Wash Buckler. So as you can see, we have a lot of them that we can summon here. And one of the things that we're going to be leading into this video, why I haven't summoned all of these, I'm going to tell you guys right now. So let's go ahead and hop on over to my Skylander box here so you guys can see what we got going on, because honestly, we're going to be doing a lot of summons over time. We're going to be getting a lot of these tickets, different rewards and whatnot here, but obviously there's going to be certain things, certain Skylanders that you guys are going to need to focus on. And if you're taking a look at all specific Skylanders, you know, playing around with different ones, it's going to be hard to focus on the few that are going to push you to that next level in Skylanders Ring of Heroes. And for me, the big three, the 3 main Skylanders that I basically use at the start of the game or relatively early on in the game that I found super helpful were all farmable ones, to say the least. So the first one we're going to take a look at is going to be Hot Dog. Now, Hot Dog is a 1-star Skylander that you're going to be able to obtain, and this is going to be your first support-based Skylander. So this one here, if you haven't taken a look at its abilities, you have the Ultra Comet, a 60% chance you're going to do damage, 60% chance to provide attack buff for 1 turn. Now, originally, this is a single target attack buff that goes on to the unit with the highest attack here. So this is going to be going on if you have yourself some type of attack-based Skylander here. The one with the highest attack is going to obtain this specific buff, okay? And again, once again, it's only 60% chance, but as you can see, the activation rate can improve if you decide to skill this up here. Now, the next skill that we got going on is just going to be a basic attack that provides a heal for the ally with the lowest current HP. So when we think about, you know, the auto function that we're all very, very excited to use, when it comes to micromanage your skills and abilities, when you have a heal like this that can provide a heal to the unit or the Skylander with the lowest HP, this makes things a little bit easier kind of pushing through the first parts of the game. So obviously the AI on this one is really, really good, and that's why I like to use him when I first get started in this. Now, taking a look at the leader skill, we have an accuracy bonus for 3%. We'll be able to get 10% accuracy once this skill gets maxed out here. So Hot Dog is really extremely good, and I'm really excited for you guys to get him all worked out, because like I said before, I used him for the early to mid-game parts of this, and I found this very, very useful. The second Skylander is going to be Stealth Out. Now, this one definitely doesn't need any introduction. You guys already know this is one of the first ones you start out with, and as you can see, with regards to the levels that I've put forth into the Skylander, he is definitely one that you're going to be using in the later stages of the game here. So let's take a look at his skills real quick. The first one being Poison Spores. We can do some damage to the enemy with the highest attacks, and we also can provide a little bit of a poison for 3 turns if we critically hit. Now, the second skill, you will kind of see a little bit of a trend. This one slashes the enemy twice. This skill is called Blaze Slash. The Rampage, which attacks all enemies, it'll be an additional hit, a bonus hit, if we can critically hit as well. So you guys are like, okay, I get the combo. Like if we have a lot of critical rate, then we can go ahead and do some additional harmful effects or some additional damage. You can see how this unit can really, really add up if you rune him well. And the last skill we have is going to be Stealth. Now, Stealth is going to allow your Skylander to hide and also provide a little bit of a bonus on critical rate and evasion. Now, if you're not sure where I found out that information, all you have to do is click that little icon there, the blue icon right below the Stealth, and this will actually give you the information that you need when it comes to any of these abilities here. So that's all you got to do. If you want to take a look at that with any of your skills or any buffs that you want to take a look at, that's where you're going to find that information, okay? So when it comes to this unit right here, you can kind of see where he is going here. Get a lot of critical rate on here so you can do some additional effects. And if you want to work in this second skill or this third skill, it will give you a little bit of a bonus for the critical rate so that you can kind of guarantee per se these extra bonus hits or harmful effects. Now early on in the game, I basically stuck to the first skills. It's extremely hard to get yourself some critical rate. However, when I started pushing through a little bit, I did incorporate the stealth because again, that hide function is really nice. As an attack based Skylander, you're not going to have a lot of HP, a lot of defense, so having other opportunities to stay alive is actually really nice. So you can combine that with whichever one you want to do, Blade Slash or Poison Spores. But once you get further on into the game, you're going to be able to get higher grade runes, which can allow you to get the higher critical rate and not be so focused on this third ability, okay? Now, the next one that I want to talk about here, this is one that actually takes a little bit of time. This is not something you get right away, but as you progress through the scenarios and do the quest lines, once you move into the second lineup or second column of quest lines, which actually comes pretty quick, you're going to be able to collect this one really fast. This one here is going to be Enigma. This is one of the first 4-star questable Skylanders you will be able to obtain. And again, I kid you not, this is one of the ones that basically I focused on for an extensive amount of time because his kit is so good. So let's take a look at his skills real quick. Now again, the Mystic Staff is going to be the first one here. This one teleports right to the enemy to attack, and then once again, this provides an attack buff on an ally with the highest attack for 1 turn. So we can see some similarities of where my big 3 team is going here when we talk about Hot Dog, Stealth Elf, and we got Enigma, right? Hot Dog also provides that attack buff for 1 turn. So when we combine these 2 types of support-based Skylanders here, we're going to be able to kind of cycle our abilities and make sure that our attack buff goes back and forth on our Stealth Elf so that we can give him the most amount of damage possible, okay? And once again, if you look under the Mystic Staff, you click on that blue icon there, you're going to be able to find a little bit of additional information on what the buff exactly does if you're not too sure about that. Now, second skill is one that I'm a big fan of, especially when you first get started, you know, with this unit here, right? This one also does damage, but also provides Bless for 1 turn with the ally with the highest attack. And this one actually prevents all damage, offsets the damage that you can obtain here. So that's including harmful effects here, which is really nice. You literally take no damage for 1 turn when you have that buff on. So you can see how strong that can be when you are going up, let's say, versus, I mean, a boss stage, for example. If you're running into a stage and maybe your Stealth Elf has the elemental disadvantage towards the boss has the elemental advantage towards him, right? He's going to be focusing down that Skylander. He's going to be focusing on Stealth Elf, and it's going to be hard to keep him up. If you have this ability in your kit, you can go ahead and provide that buff for your Stealth Elf and make sure that he stays alive. So combine that with the stealth buff, being able to hide from the opponent there or provide a little bit more evasion. You can once again see where the synergy of these 3 units are coming into play here, right? Now, the next one that we want to look at here, the Paradox Pound. Now, this one actually is one that I substituted in quite a bit. Generally speaking, when you look at these first 2 skills, you're like, oh my gosh, I got to take advantage of this. But for me, sometimes, like maybe not the boss stages, but the regular stages, I wanted to clear the content a little bit quicker. So I opted to take out the Bless buff for the AoE buff here. Now, this is not only just the AoE buff, but this also does damage. You can see it does an AoE damage and also provides an attack up, or sorry, correction, a accuracy buff as well as an effect accuracy buff. Now, accuracy is just going to help you landing your basic attacks, but the effect accuracy is going to assist you in landing the harmful effects that your different Skylanders are going to have on their abilities here. So you can kind of see the utility that this guy brings. I mean, he all around is just an amazing Skylander here. We got an attack buff for your Skylander for the lowest attack. We have an invulnerability buff or a bless buff that we can prevent damage, and then we also have ways of basically landing your damage, your effects on your opponent. This literally is one of the best starter Skylanders that we can obtain in a questable fashion here. So definitely get excited for that. Again, that's going to be the part 2 quest line when you get to that stage. I know that you guys are going to have fun with it. I definitely encourage you to build it. So the passive on this one, if you haven't taken a look at here, every 6 attacks, we're going to get a purple cloud and grant stealth for 1 turn to the ally with the highest attack. So once again, stealth buff for Stealth Elf. When you get him set up, it's extremely nice, and it's just the synergy between these 2 all three of these guys is really, really good. Just so many different ways of staying alive, but also so many different ways of providing more damage. Once again, the stealth buff is a way of reducing the amount of damage you could potentially take, but keep in mind that we said it before, stealth elf's abilities here, when you are stealth, you have that additional critical rate, and that's going to assist you on the first 2 skills, being able to do the bonus hit on the blade slash, as well as the opportunity to land the poison effect, which is actually really, really nice for boss stages if you critically hit on that. So what we're going to be doing to finish off this video here, we're going to take a look at the challenges. One of the things that we're going to be talking about in a future video is all the different daily tasks that you guys can do as a free-to-play player, and make sure that you are not getting behind here. And Realm of Souls is by far one of the things that you want to focus on. Why is that? Because in this specific stage, you can collect yourself 3, 4, or even 5-star fragments for specific Skylanders, and these change every single day. Now, when you initially look at this, you will see that the first Skylander that we got clicked on here, we have the elemental advantage or disadvantage towards this one. When you first get started in Realm of Stones, don't worry too much about the elemental advantage or disadvantage. Just make sure you're trying to clear as much as you can every single day. Now, of course, as you progress on your account and improve your Skylanders, you will be able to get a little bit farther for the Realm of Souls. But when you first get started, it should be really, really easy. These first few stages are not too difficult at all. So again, we're just going to leave it auto right now and just allow this kind of go through. And then what we'll do, we'll kind of skip to one of the harder stages so that you can kind of see how the synergy works on this team. Now, moving on to the 5th stage of the Realm of Souls, you can definitely see that we're going to have ourselves a pretty tough match here. Now, take a look at the combat points versus mine. You will see they got 44,000 combat points, but me, I only have 25. This is honestly something that I probably shouldn't even deal with, but we're going to give it a go. We're going to see if we can get lucky here, because once again, if we cycle our abilities in a really strong fashion, I feel like we can take advantage of the blessing that we're bringing from the Enigma and the attack buffs that we're going to be bringing on both of our support units to give the stealth health enough damage to try to take these units out here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on every single one here. I want to kind of get an idea of the elemental advantage or disadvantage that I have. So as you can see, this one right here is going to be basically focused on stealth elf. So he's going to have a little bit more damage on him. So I think I'm going to focus him down first and then possibly work on Shadow Spiral, because I know that I've had some difficulty here. If you're ever curious about what these different Skylanders could do that you're going up against, take a look at their skills or abilities, see which ones you feel that are going to be a little bit more difficult to deal with. I'm just going to go straight forward with the damage. I don't want to get too into it for this match here. I'm just going to try to focus on what I can control as far as my skills and abilities go. Now, when it comes to my lineup, like I said before, we can choose the abilities that we want. I'm just going to run my main 2 attacks because I have different ways of providing stealth, and I also have a fair amount of critical rate on this unit here. So on this one here, I do want to focus on providing some more defensive support here. So I'm going to leave the bless in there, and I'm going to leave the attack buff in there to provide some more damage here. So let's go ahead and see what can happen when we go ahead and take on this lineup. So one thing to mention though, when it comes to Realm of Souls, let's say if you clear one of these, one of these Skylanders, let's go ahead and buff up here. Let's click on this one. If you can clear one of these Skylanders, and let's say you can't clear the stage, you can go back to it and that Skylander will be down here. The HP that they have is going to be the same, so, or as you left off here. So don't worry if you can't clear it with your main team. You can bring on some other units here to keep him alive. Let's put this bless on if we can. I don't think we're going to be able to get it on that stealth elf sooner, but we may be able to do it. Oh man, yeah, Shadow Spiral hit a little too hard here. It looks like he has a deflect damage buff, so I'm glad that we're not focusing him down, but we're in a bad scenario here. But again, it's kind of to be expected. This one was really, really difficult because they have just so much health on me, and it's just kind of a struggle to deal with here. So let's go ahead and see if we can get lucky. Again, these guys are support-based Skylanders, so we may be able to take this one out here. So I'm just going to cycle my abilities here. I'm going to stay away from that Shadow Spiral. I'm going to focus on that Eruptor. We have plenty of support here by our Broccoli guy, which is our villain. Our villain can provide us a heal, as well as a defense buff and a little bit of heal over time. Not just a direct heal, but a heal over time. So we can stay alive if these guys focus down one of our Skylanders that has a stealth or the blessing, then we should be in a good place here. Now, you can kind of see right now, the hot dog has the stealth buff, but unfortunately, we're not getting the heals where we need him right now. We need Enigma to stay alive here, but the bomb, they got a bomb on him that takes him out, and I think that's going to be I think that's going to be GG here. Even though we were able to knock down the Eruptor, unfortunately, we just don't have enough damage to take this one out. But that being said, guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Realm of Souls for the first 3 to 4 stages is really not too bad, but even though it's going to ramp up in difficulty, you still want to make sure that you're getting in there every single time so that you can go ahead and get the fragments, as many fragments as possible here. So with regards to these 3 specific Skylanders, where can we obtain those fragments? Right now, we already stated that Enigma is something that you can obtain through the quest line, the Part 2 quest line. However, if you come on over here to Rainbow Valley, the hard stage is when you're going to be able to farm this out. Now, this is going to take quite a bit of time. However, you can obtain over 250, I believe 260 total fragments from the quest line here. So you're going to have enough to not only power them up, but evolve them to 5-star and take advantage of them as I have, okay? The next one that we've already taken a look at, of course, is going to be Stealth Elves. Now, Stealth Elves, you can get the boss fragments here. You can get the fragments here through the boss, but you can also get over 400 fragments from the first part of the quest line. So part 1 of the quest line, you can get them there. So, but that being said, make sure that you're always doing the boss stages so you can get these additional fragments every single day. Then the last one that we're going to be able to get these is going to be the Infernal Volcano. Now, this is where we're going to be able to obtain the hot dog fragments. Now, take note that this also, not only can you farm them through stage 1 through stage 6 in the easy mode, but you can also get them through various completion rewards here once you can obtain a certain amount of stars in every single stage. Now, this is also something that we saw in stage 1, the Singing Forest. You can see that we got some hot dog fragments there. This one has blades, but this one also has hot dogs. So you can see there's quite a few opportunities to get your first support Skylander all set up and ready to go. He's going to evolve really quickly. And once again, when it comes to talking about like some of the 1-star Skylanders versus some of the 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, keep in mind that even though some of the 3-star and 4-star Skylanders have a little bit more, rolls in their kit, or maybe they have a little bit better base stats, some of the early game Skylanders, some of the 1-star, like 1-star and 2-star Skylanders that you're going to be able to obtain are going to be a little bit easier to level up because you're getting a lot of fragments. So, and let me know in the comment section down below, what are some of your favorite Skylanders to get started with in this game, okay? So that's going to be it, guys. Once again, I want to give a big shout out to ChildishPlays for sponsoring this video. Thank you guys so much for your support, and thank you for watching this video. Take care.